Now, one of the things that I tend to do is look back and try to piece together my childhood in order to understand how how things were broken up. I mean, my history from childhood is broken up periods of episodes, things that don't necessarily seem to have all that much sense to them. And it takes a lot of work to try to piece it together. But my father, he had his own demons to work with, and many of us may not realize how much. Well, I guess my age might show in this. Way back then, my father may not have had, did not have the kind of tools that I have at my avail now, and I did not, for the longest time, consider myself anything capable of being a decent father figure. Damaged goods. So a lot of what we go through in our lives has that personal perspective to it, that we interpret what our parents. Don't make the mistake of thinking that I think my father wasn't abusive. He was abusive. My older brother was abusive as well. Our family had its own interesting dynamic in a lot of respects, but my oldest brother was suffering from my oldest father. My older brother was suffering from the abuse that my father bestowed upon him, and it passed along to me. He had a tendency to want to feel a certain degree of control in his life, and one of the ways he did that was by manipulating others, and manipulating me made him feel a sense of power or control over his life. My own sense of wanting to have some sort of security in my life was the tendency to need stability in reality. I wanted to know that I could trust reality to be stable. And the best way to effect that was to say to myself that reality was fine. It was just me that was screwed up. There was something wrong with me. And it wasn't hard to do, and the simplest little thing. I mean, make no mistake, there was a number of things that progressed along to bring me to the point where I was able to say this in accordance with what my father would say. My father would say something nice and simple, just a little term, a little phrase, a little question, one little question. And that question was, "What's the matter with you?" It sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Sounds like something that somebody could easily dismiss. But there's a point where it's amazing what sort of mental gymnastics we'll perform in order to bring some sort of sense of stability to our existence. And for my father to say something, "What's the matter with you?" is an end product. I mean, it's an end process. It says already that there's something wrong with you. We just don't know what it is. So I was just as willing to accept that aspect or conclusion about myself. I was unfit to live. I was unfit to figure out life. I was unfit to be successful at existing on my own. The kinds of conclusions you can make. I won't go into that too much right now. But you have to admit that part of what the abuse that I suffered from in that psychological sense, just from my father alone, never mind my brother, I won't talk about him right now either, but part of it has to do with my interpretation. I interpret it to mean something. My father says, "What's the matter with you?" And I have to accept that. And that was my own decision. I made that acceptance. How much responsibility do we bear in our own upbringing? There are people who boast, "Oh, I wasn't that stupid," or something to that effect, and I was able to see through all this, that, and the other thing. I wasn't. I wasn't all that bright. At least I don't give myself the credit to have been all that bright. Perhaps part of the same process of saying there's something wrong with me and I just can't figure existence out. I can't figure out what's going on out there in the real world. Not that bright, you know. I used to try so hard to understand. People are a mystery to me. I still have difficulty. I don't consider myself a very good judge of character. I see people, and what I do is basically I want to trust. I want to think that people are basically good. And that is because I don't really want to live in a world where people are not basically good. No, sir, I don't like it. I'm gonna stop it right here for now because I don't really know where I'm going at the moment. Maybe I can continue on with this, but I must say I really enjoy your work in divinity, and Jesus, I hope you accept that in the spirit of appreciation and not some sort of maybe I'm getting a little bit too infatuated or something like that. Sorry, I apologize. Um, great videos, great work. Thanks for the invite to share some of this with you. I appreciate that. I will possibly talk later. Bye for now.